Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, wow, yes. That goal in the second half was unbelievable. I almost dropped my drink.
That is the perfect World Cup feeling. One minute you are calm, and the next minute you are standing in your living room like you personally scored the goal.
And then someone asks you about the match in English, and suddenly all you can say is, good game, very football.
So today, we'll learn simple English you can use to talk about the World Cup, football, goals, scores, teams, and predictions.
We'll say football today because most of the world says football. Some people also call it soccer.
And this is still easy English. We are not doing deep sports analysis. We're learning how to join the conversation when people are excited, disappointed, hopeful, or maybe acting like the referee personally ruined their life.
Which, according to football fans, happens every few minutes.
Today, we'll help you join those conversations with simple, natural phrases. Let's start with the easiest way to enter a World Cup conversation. Ask about the game. You can say, "Did you watch the game last night?" That question immediately opens the conversation.
You can also ask, are you watching the World Cup? This is useful when you do not know if the other person follows football. Maybe they watch every game, maybe they only watch the big matches, maybe they are mostly there for the snacks.
The snacks are an important part of international football culture.
Absolutely. Emotional support chips.
If you missed a game, you can ask, "Who played yesterday?" Or "What was the score?"
What was the score is one of the most useful questions. If someone says they won 2-1, that means the score was 2-1.
And if everyone is talking about one big moment, you can ask, "Did you see that goal?"
That question has energy. If the goal was amazing, people will not just say yes, they will explain the whole thing with their hands.
Sometimes the hands are necessary.
Sometimes the hands do better than the English.
Let's hear a short conversation after a match.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did. It was amazing. That goal in the second half was unbelievable.
What was the score?
They won 2-1.
Oh, wow. Was it a close game?
Very close. The first half was slow, but the second half was really exciting.
That already sounds like a real football conversation. Simple question, score, reaction, and one opinion about the match.
Now let's talk about teams. During the World Cup, people often ask, "Who are you supporting?" This means, which team do you want to win?
You can answer, I'm supporting my team, or I'm cheering for them. In American English, cheering for is very common. It means you want that team to win.
You can also say, "I hope they win," or "I hope they go far." Go far means they continue for many rounds in the tournament.
And if you do not have one team, you can say, I don't have one team, but I like watching good football. That is a great sentence. You can join the conversation without choosing a side.
Another fun answer is, "I usually support the underdog." The underdog is the team people do not expect to win.
A lot of people love supporting the underdog because it feels more dramatic. Everyone says they can't win, and then suddenly the team is running around like, actually, we have other plans.
That is my favorite kind of football chaos.
Same. Painful sometimes, but beautiful.
Let's hear two friends talking before a match.
Who are you supporting tonight?
I'm cheering for the team in blue. They look strong this year.
I usually support the underdog, so I'm cheering for the other team.
Really? You think they can win?
Maybe. It will be difficult, but that makes it more fun.
That is a nice conversation, because they do not support the same team, but they are still friendly.
That's the dream. Strong opinions, no small international crisis.
Now let's talk about the match itself. Many learners want to say more than good game, but they don't know what words to use.
Good game is fine, but sometimes the match needs more than that. It needs a little emotion.
You can say, "It was an exciting game." That means the game was fun to watch.
If the teams were very close, you can say, it was a close match. That means either team could win.
If nothing much happened at first, but then the game became exciting, you can say, the first half was slow, but the second half was amazing. That is very useful because many games are like that.
The first half is careful. The second half suddenly becomes emotional damage.
Football does enjoy emotional damage.
You can also talk about the players in a simple way. They played really well. The defense looked weak. The goalkeeper was incredible.
The goalkeeper is the player who protects the goal. If the goalkeeper saves many shots, you can say, the goalkeeper was incredible.
And when there is one amazing goal, say that goal was unbelievable. Or just, what a goal.
What a goal is short, but very natural. It means the goal was amazing.
Did you see that goal?
I did. That goal was unbelievable.
The whole match was so close. I thought it would go to penalties.
Same. The first half was slow, but the second half was amazing.
And the goalkeeper was incredible. He saved the team.
That conversation has energy, but the English is still simple.
That is what learners need. Not perfect sports vocabulary, just clear football feelings.
Now, let's talk about scores and results. If a team wins with a score of 2-1, you can say they won 2-1.
If they lose, you can say they lost 2-1.
Painful sentence, but useful. You can also say they won on penalties or they lost on penalties. Penalties happen when the match is still tied after extra time, and players take penalty kicks to decide the winner.
Losing on penalties is a special kind of sadness. It feels like your heart had to take an exam.
A very cruel exam.
If your team lost, but you want to be fair, you can say, my team lost, but they played well. That is a mature sentence. Not always easy to say, but mature.
If you feel sad about the result, say, it was disappointing, or that was a disappointing result.
You can also say, they deserve to win. That means they played better and should have won.
Or they were lucky, but be careful with that one. Football fans hear they were lucky, and suddenly they become lawyers.
Full courtroom, many emotions, no evidence accepted.
Let's hear a conversation after a match where one person is happy and one person is disappointed.
Your team won, right?
They won 2-1. I'm so happy.
My team lost, but they played well. The result was disappointing, though.
It was a close match. Your goalkeeper was really good.
He was incredible, but your team scored at the perfect moment.
I know. Honestly, we were a little lucky.
A little lucky?
Only a little. Please do not bring evidence.
That is a good way to talk about winning and losing without turning the conversation into a fight.
Before a game, people love making predictions. They ask, who do you think will win? Or, what do you think will happen?
You can answer, I think they can win. Or, I think it will be a close match.
If you are not confident, say, I don't think they'll go far. That means you don't think they will continue for many rounds.
You can also say, they have a strong team this year. Or, it depends on the next game. It depends is useful because football is not always clear.
And if you disagree with someone, you can stay friendly. Say, I'm not sure about that. Or, I see your point, but...
For example, I see your point, but their defense is not strong. You're saying, I understand you, but I think differently.
Another easy phrase is maybe, but. For example, maybe, but I think the other team has a better chance.
Lauren, football conversations need a little disagreement. If everyone agrees, the conversation ends too quickly.
And football fans need somewhere to put their opinions.
They really do, preferably somewhere peaceful.
Let's hear two people talk before a match.
Who do you think will win tonight?
I think the team in red has a better chance. They have a strong team this year.
I'm not sure about that. Their defense looked weak in the last game.
I see your point, but their attack is very strong.
Maybe, but I think it will be a close match.
I'll say 2-1.
I'll say 1-1, then penalties.
You really want emotional stress.
It is the World Cup. Emotional stress is included.
Now, what if you do not know much about football, but people around you are talking about the World Cup?
This is very real. Maybe everyone at work is talking about the game, and you are thinking, I know there is a ball. I know people are upset. That is all.
That is still a beginning.
You can join the conversation honestly. Say, I don't know much about football, but I enjoy the World Cup.
You can also say, I only watch the big games, or I'm still learning the teams.
And if you want the other person to talk, ask, who do you think will win? Or, which team should I watch?
That works because people who love football usually enjoy explaining football.
Sometimes too much, Matt. Ask carefully.
Fair warning.
You can also say, I don't have one team, but I like watching good football. That keeps the conversation open without pretending to know everything.
Now, let's hear a longer conversation. Two people meet before English class after a World Cup match. One person watched the game carefully, and the other person does not know much about football but still wants to join the conversation.
Did you watch the game last night?
I watched part of it. I don't know much about football, but even I could tell it was exciting.
Oh, it was amazing. They won 2-1, and the goal in the second half was unbelievable.
I saw that goal. The room got very loud. I was with my cousin, and he stood up like he had been personally invited onto the field.
That is a proper World Cup reaction.
What was the score again?
2-1. It was close until the end.
So they won by one goal?
Right, one goal difference. And honestly, the goalkeeper saved them near the end.
The goalkeeper was the one in green, right?
Right, he was incredible. He made two big saves.
Okay, I can say that. The goalkeeper was incredible.
Perfect football sentence.
Who are you supporting in the tournament?
I'm supporting one of the stronger teams, but I also like watching the underdogs.
I think I support the underdog too. It feels more dramatic.
It is more dramatic and sometimes more painful.
That seems to be part of football.
A very big part.
Do you think your team can win?
I think they can, but it depends on the next game. Their attack is strong, but their defense has had some weak moments.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, a football opinion already.
A small one. I think if they keep scoring goals, defense is less important.
That is a dangerous sentence, but I respect the confidence.
I am new to football. I speak with courage, not knowledge.
Honestly, many fans do the same thing.
What do people say if a game is not exciting?
You can say the game was boring, but if you want to be softer, say the first half was slow.
That sounds nicer.
It is. You can say the first half was slow, but the second half was amazing.
That was true last night, right?
So true. The first half was slow, but the second half had everything. Goals, saves, stress, and people shouting at the TV.
The full experience.
Absolutely. Did you enjoy watching it?
I did. I only watch the big games, but I like the energy. Even if I don't understand every rule, I understand when everyone screams.
That is the universal language of football.
Who do you think will win the next match?
I think it will be close, maybe 2-1 again.
I'll say 1-1 and penalties, because now I know that word and I want to use it.
You are choosing penalties just for vocabulary practice.
Maybe. English learning has changed my sports predictions.
That's a new strategy. Not a good strategy, but definitely new.
If they lose on penalties, what can I say?
You can say, they lost on penalties. It was disappointing.
And if they win?
They won on penalties. The goalkeeper was incredible.
Good. I am ready to sound like I know what happened.
That's half a football conversation.
Only half?
The other half is strong emotions and pretending your prediction was obvious after the game.
I can do that. Of course they won. I always believed.
Perfect. Very natural, slightly dishonest, but natural.
This is fun. I don't need to know everything to join the conversation.
That is the big point. You can ask questions, react to the match, say who you support, and ask other people what they think. Simple English is enough to be part of the moment.
I like that. The World Cup gives people something emotional to talk about.
It really does. And when people are excited, conversation becomes easier. Everyone already has feelings. You just need a few phrases to join in.
So, if you remember only 3 ideas from today, remember these. Ask about the game, react with simple phrases, and ask other people what they think.
You can ask, "Did you watch the game?" You can react with, "That goal was unbelievable," or "It was a close match." And you can ask, "Who do you think will win?"
If you support a team, say, I'm cheering for them, or I hope they win. If you do not know much about football, say, I don't know much, but I enjoy the World Cup.
That's enough to join many football conversations in English.
Now, here is your question for the comments. Which team are you supporting in the World Cup? Write one simple sentence in English.
For example, "I'm supporting my team," or "I usually support the underdog."
Thanks for listening. Enjoy the games and try one simple English sentence this week.
And may the best team wins.